Your employer is going to and has the right to see what you're doing online in their office. Andy Crouppen and Ed Herman join us from Brown and Crouppen. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
People do think at work, you know what, this is my personal PC, it's on my desk. I'm using, maybe even I'm using my personal email, but they're not right about that.
They're wrong. They're wrong. Go ahead.
Ed, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think that's a good place to start. You know, there's no expectation of privacy in the workplace. If the employer owns the computer, they own the cell phone they're providing you with, or the phone on your desk, the email accounts, they have every right to look at them if they choose to. Even if you check your personal email account at work, they could potentially look at that. They have the right to.
They can absolutely get into their system again and see what you're doing.
Yes.
All right. And Andy, there are some things the employer should do.
Well, yeah, I think should, can. You know, I think the first thing to know for employers out there, I think it's important that people don't look at this as their own personal reality show, peering into the lives of all their employees, reading their emails, and I don't think most people are doing that. I think really where it comes into play is if you have a suspicion that somebody is doing something wrong or maybe planning on leaving an important person, a key employee, you know, I think then sometimes people will look and look at the emails. In terms of productivity, I think if you feel like there's one person you really have a problem with, sometimes they'll monitor the web usage. But like Ed said, you have no expectation of privacy. This is their computer. This is their time. And I think there's a kind of a generational split. Younger people don't realize that
because they've grown up with all of this. They don't realize that there's a workplace ethic going on.
Exactly. They're entering the workplace. This is how they're doing it. We're doing it maybe in school, and that just translates to the workplace. And maybe they're partially right. And from the employer's perspective, you have people who didn't grow up with this technology and don't realize that maybe there's a common ground in the middle. It's kind of the modern day personal phone call.
Well, and Ed, the employee out there is thinking, I am being spied on.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that there's a balance, and there has to be a balance. The rule of thumb for an employee should be, don't do anything on your computer that you wouldn't feel comfortable if your supervisor were standing next to you, which means that you don't go to certain websites. And I think employers should block not just pornography, gambling sites, gaming sites, social networking sites, sites that really draw in people's attention and can keep them there for a long time. But there has to be some balance because people do have lives, and a lot of those lives now exist on the computer. So I think it's a good idea for employers, allow employees to use it during their lunch hour, during breaks, to take care of those little bits of personal business. But employees shouldn't abuse it. Remember, you know, especially in this economy, you know, you have a job to do, and it's an old-fashioned, an honest day's work, an honest day's pay.
All right.
And I think that's the way to handle it.
It's a pretty simple thing. Ed and Andy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and if you have a legal question for any of the Brown and Crouppen team, email us for that as well.